Hello, I'm Jo Christie of stirrupmedia.com and also MissSueFlay.com, and today I'm talking to you about putting yourself out there, maybe as a brand or a business, mainly specifically with blogging in mind today. I've been speaking to a lot of people recently and helping and consulting various people who are trying to get into the blogging world, and that's from the very start. So how to start a blog, how blogging works, what platforms to choose, what to blog about, so content-based stuff, and also how to promote yourself. And a lot of people I find start a blog and then they start blogging to who knows who, and then they get a bit stale and a bit worried that no one's reading, nobody's listening. You know, what do you do? So this is my advice, and I thought I'd put it into a video to put myself out there a little bit more. I haven't done any videos yet for Stir Up Media, so this is my first. Be nice to me. So the answer is to put yourself out there. You have got to put yourself out there. You can't simply sit in front of a computer or a laptop or an iPad or whatever you're doing and expect that people are going to know about you and hear about you and meet you. You know, you are your own marketeer as a blogger, and this does go to business and branding as well. You have to, you know, put yourself in situations that you might not think of initially. And I've learnt this over time. When I first started blogging, I didn't know who was reading, who I was talking to. I blurted it out and hoped for the best. And I think that's what we all do when we first start blogging. So my best advice is to be yourself. Share your expertise, share your knowledge, share your passions, and people will start to get to know you for those things. They'll start to buy into you. And as Miss Sue Flay, as that's my brand that I've created mainly through word of mouth, social media, and all the hard work that people don't necessarily see, I've put myself out there and said yes to so many different things. And here's a list of things that I have done to create an interest and support for my blog and for my brand, and subsequently, 4.5 years later, a business which is now a full-time self-employed business. So I've attended the Blog Academy in London 2014, which is a workshop for bloggers, female bloggers predominantly, to all get together, learn from the three amazing headmistresses, Gala Darling, Shauna Hayder and Kat Williams from Rock and Roll Bride. Three blogging geniuses and 30 other bloggers in that room who I have networked my little arse off with for 2 solid days and become really good friends with some of them. I met some of them, or I am meeting some of them after the events. I'm talking to them through social media, we're connecting, we're sharing ideas, we're putting ourselves into a room and talking to each other. We're not just all sat at home behind our keyboard worrying that we're not meeting anyone or doing anything exciting. We're actually putting ourselves into that situation, and you have got to do that. I wrote a feature off my own back for National Afternoon Tea Week about an afternoon tea challenge that I decided to run on Instagram, one of my favourite social media platforms. And off the back of that, afternoontea.co.uk featured it on their website. And that's a national afternoon tea website. Seeing as that is my niche at MissSueFlay.com, that's pretty awesome. I've appeared on ITV's Alan Titchmarsh show, and it was a ridiculous feature about dunking biscuits in your tea. It was on his daily ding dong, and it was an etiquette feature on whether you should or shouldn't do it. And as ridiculous as it was, they came to me because of my passions in that subject. I've filmed with foodie heartthrob Nigel Slater for a top secret filming, which I still can't talk about, which is a bit annoying, but very exciting. I've had a private one-to-one lunch with Greg Wallace from MasterChef, and that's just by asking questions. You know, would you be interested in? I have this idea. Could we do that? You know, and people say yes. You know, what's the worst they're going to do? Say no. I've written over 25 bespoke features for localsecrets.com, and that ranges from the revival of butler service in hotels through to what to pack for a picnic, how to host a perfect evening dinner party, all sorts of really random things. The bringing back the retro bar snacks in restaurants and pubs, all sorts of quirky ideas. And that's from gaining experience for writing for local publications over the years. I've offered my services for free, and I've reviewed afternoon tea venues for 2 years for the Cambridge Evening News and the Cambridgeshire Journal magazine, which is now no more. And okay, that was for free, that was my time, but that was great experience with an editor. And as a reviewer, not something that I'd ever done before. And now, you know, I'm a freelance reviewer. And that is partly down to the experience that I've gained by putting myself out there. I've gained various appearances on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire, and I have a regular slot now as a result. I have great fun with that. I love radio. I was nervous as hell when I started, and you know, it still is nerve-wracking, but you've got to do these things. You have to put yourself out there. There's a theme. I've been a judge for the Cambridge Bake Off competition. I've hosted a sold-out dining etiquette event with a well-known expert in etiquette, Dine Like Downton, which was my baby. I put it together. I put the guest list together, I co-hosted it, I sold it, I marketed it, I did everything. I wrote it up afterwards. You know, you can't sit back and expect that things are going to happen for you, because they just won't. I've appeared in Real Life magazine, Vintage Life magazine, Country Living magazine, Sunday Express, the Financial Times food section, and these are all 4 things that I've shown a real passion in and I've told people about, and there's no one else doing it, so, you know, why would they not want to talk to me? I've written a regular column for years, and as I say, that's been great experience for my writing. I think if I hadn't done that, I probably would have lost interest in my blog a little bit. But because I did a lot of professional writing without thinking at the time it was professional writing, I wouldn't be self-employed today. I'd still be working for the corporate monster. I've filmed some afternoon tea geekery with BBC's Escape to the Country, and that was great fun. That was at Woburn Abbey, the home of afternoon tea, the Holy Grail. And I made a swift appearance on BBC's One Show as well. So life's been colourful for the last few years. I've written guest posts recently under Stir Up Media for the Regis Connect blog, and that's more serious. That's for co-working etiquette and how to behave in a shared workspace. And I've enjoyed working with Regis. It's a professional serviced office and conferencing company, a great organisation. There's an office on my doorstep which I use from time to time. So I get chatting to these people, tell them what I do, and you should do the same as a blogger, as a creative, as a business owner. Talk to people all the time about what you do, what your passions are. You just never know what's going to come of it. I've presented an afternoon tea etiquette lesson to a 100-person auditorium. I said yes without even thinking about it. I was scared, really scared, but I still did it. I probably wouldn't do it again. Well, I said that, and then I did. I was on a panellist group discussion for the Sukio masterclasses in Cambridge. I hate public speaking, but if I don't say yes, I'm never going to grow as a person or as a business. So always say yes and worry about it later. I even applied and got through to the second stage of ITV's Food Glorious Food until they bodged up my application. I won't go into details. I was not happy. But again, I hate TV. Everything's so different every time you film with TV or radio or write for a publication, but it's a fantastic experience. And I'm still blogging all my experiences and all my knowledge and all my passion behind the scenes. But all these little things, talking to people and making connections on social media, they are all what you need to do to get yourself out there. So this weekend, I am all for putting myself out of my comfort zone. My goals, I'm actually going to local music festival, Lodestar. And I'm going to chat to, or aim to chat to, Doug, who runs the festival. It's his baby. And I want to interview him for my Freelancer Friday post at Stir Up Media. That scares me horrendously, because I hate just striking up a random conversation with someone and trying to dig for information. It's very journalistic, but it's great. It's great fun. It gives you new content. It gives you new experiences, new inspiration. And who knows, next year you could have me singing on stage. I don't think so. I'm going to try some delicious ice cream from Sweet Ali Scoop's vintage ice cream van. I've been meaning to meet Ali for ages and ages and ages. So we've connected on Twitter or Facebook, and we're going to meet up and have a good old chat about food and sweet things and local business. And again, who knows where that will lead us. And I want to meet the Hoosiers. On Sunday, the Hoosiers are a band that are playing. I've emailed them and their management team and their PR company all directly and said, would you be interested in, giving them my idea, watch my Instagram account for silly selfies if I do, hopefully and when I meet the Hoosiers. I just ask. I've got this, if you don't ask, you don't get attitude, and that's what makes blogging so fun, so interesting, and so successful for me personally. Talking to some of my lovely friends on social media, some of the advice they've given, Kat Roscoe says, we're only afraid of the things that we don't do often, and not the things that we do every day and that we're used to. So do what you're scared of, do it a lot until you stop being scared. And I think that's true to a point. Just keep putting yourself out there. Ask to do things. Be jammy. If you don't, then your blog probably won't continue. It won't succeed. You'll give up. You'll get bored. Your readers will get bored. Jessica of fierceinnercity.com says, tell yourself that you have very little to lose and yet so much to gain by putting yourself out there. It might feel uncomfortable, but you'll soon realise that the benefits of stepping out of your comfort zone far outweigh the fear and discomfort of pushing your boundaries, and it's so true. And Dorothy Wood, bless her, she's a fashion advisor at John Lewis in Cambridge, and she says, take up dancing or performing. You'll learn to wear a different face to cover your shyness or fear. Then you can put on this face when required. This is what I did when I created my alter ego, Miss Sue Flay. I was so nervous, so shy. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be meeting strangers. I wouldn't be doing half the things I've done. But Miss Sue Flay, she had the flicks and her hair up and the 50s dress, and it was my mask. And that's what brought me out of my comfort zone. So if you have to, create an alter ego, put a mask on, put a front on, you'll soon learn to deal with it. Blogging should be so exciting, as should business or creating a new brand or an alter ego. So just go with it, enjoy it, talk to people, put yourself in a room, network. If you don't ask, you don't get. But just stay true to your passions and your beliefs and your knowledge. People want to learn from you. That's why they're reading you, following you, buying from you. So be yourself and occasionally put yourself out of your comfort zone. I truly hope that helps. I've really enjoyed this. Visit me at stirupmedia.com. You can follow me on all the social media platforms, or email me at hello@stirupmedia.com. Thanks for listening. Bye.